to another video. So today I am actually going to be doing a popular books that I have not read yet video. So I've got several books here. These are all like super hyped up books. Some of them may not be as popular now because they were released a couple years ago, and I think they were more popular when they first came out. But I included them on this list because nevertheless they're still popular books that I have not read yet, and I need to read them. These are the popular books that I haven't read yet. So the first one I'm going to show you is Red Rising by Pierce Brown, and this was one that was talked a lot about on BookTube when it first came out. I saw, who was it? I saw Tasha do a interview with the author for this book one time. So it was a pretty popular one when it first came out. And I actually just saw Ben do, Ben from Benjamin of Tomes just did a most popular books that he hasn't read yet. And this was on his list too. So yeah, I have not read it yet. But I have all 3 books in this series, in the trilogy. So I just need to pick them up and marathon them. And I don't really remember what this one is about. All I know is it takes place on another planet, and it sounds like it's a sci-fi dystopian, maybe? I'm not sure. So, yeah, but this is one I haven't read yet. But I do want to hopefully get to it this year, hopefully. And this is actually one that I'm probably going to be recommending to my book club when we get to our dystopian month. This next one is another one that is, again, super popular. And the 3rd book in the series actually comes out next month in May. And I really need to get on it and read it. One of my friends was like, get on it, read them. I was like, I haven't read the first 2 books yet. She's like, well, pick them up now and read them, and then you'll be good by the time the 3rd one comes out in May. And that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And of course, I have to read this soon because Sarah J. Maas, you guys know how much I adored the Throne of Glass series, one of my all-time favorite series, and I definitely need to get to A Court of Thorns and Roses because, yeah, I'm sure I'm just going to absolutely love it. And this one is, I've heard, kind of a Beauty and the Beast retelling, sort of. But it has fairies in here, so that'll be interesting. I definitely can't wait to get to this because Sarah J. Maas, I love her, so I need to read this. I don't know what I'm waiting for. The next one is the first book in a duology, and this is one that people talk about all the time on BookTube. It is very, very much hyped up, and I need to read it. I have both books in the duology, so I have no excuse not to read it. I just need to figure out when I'm going to read it. And that is 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I don't know. I just need to read this. I heard it's about a heist. There are these 6 characters that are trying to do some sort of heist. And yeah, I don't know much else about this series, but I've heard a ton of great things on BookTube about it. And Leigh Bardugo is the author of the Grisha trilogy, which I have not read that either, but I've heard a lot of good things about that series as well. So yeah, could have added the Christian trilogy to this list, but I don't have that trilogy, so I don't have it to show you. But I really need to get on this and read it. And the next book that I'm going to show you, this is another one that's the first book in a duology, and it's a sci-fi one. I've heard so many people praise this one and talk about this one. And I actually tried starting this one, but at the time I was reading Throne of Glass. I was in the middle of, not Throne of Glass, but the series. I was in like book 2 or 3 in the Throne of Glass series. And I tried to do this one because I was going to do it for a buddy read, but I just couldn't focus and get into the story because I just wanted to be in the Throne of Glass world, and all I could think about was Throne of Glass and wanting to finish the whole series and remain in that world for as long as I can. So I didn't finish this at the time. I decided to put it aside and actually read it later on when I'm not so focused and thinking about Throne of Glass, because I want to give this one a fair chance. And that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Like I said, this is the first in a duology, and it is, or at least I think it's a duology. I might be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think it's a duology. But this is the first book, and it's a sci-fi book. And yeah, that's pretty much all I know about it so far. It is written in a different format, so it's written through like journal entries and news articles and stuff like that. So that's pretty interesting. I don't really know much else about this, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. So I'm going to give it another shot later on. The next one I'm going to show you is one that's not talked about too much anymore, but it was when it was first released a few years ago. I think it was really popular back then, and I got it around the time it was released, and I still have not read it. So yes, it's been on my shelf for a few years now, and I need to read them. And that is The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken. And honestly, I really don't remember too much about what this is about. I think it's a dystopian, and the kids in here have different types of powers. That's pretty much all I know. So, yeah, I don't remember too much. But it was one that I think was pretty popular when it was released. And so, I need to read it. So, the next one is one that is a standalone. And this is another one that I think was kind of popular when it was first released. Don't hear too much about it anymore. But when it was being released, I heard a lot more about it. And I still need to read it. And that is The Coldest Girl in Cold Town by Holly Black. Again, with all of these books I'm showing, like, I really don't know that much about each of them. Except this one is like a girl who wakes up in a town full of vampires. I think she's the only human, and I think she's like gotta find a way out of there or something like that. Not sure. I'm really bad at giving you guys summaries of books, but I still need to read it. It's been on my shelf for a while. So the next book I'm going to show you guys, I just picked up any book on my shelf that I haven't read by this author yet, because this is a pretty popular author, and I do need to read more of his work. I've only read one of his series, his first series, and I need to read more because I loved it. And that author is Rick Riordan. So I just grabbed this one on my shelf, The Throne of Fire. I think this is actually book 2 in the Kane Chronicles, by Rick Riordan. So, like I said, all of his books, super popular. I need to pick them up and read them. I've only read Percy Jackson and the Olympians. I need to read the Heroes of Olympians. I need to read this series. I need to read his Magnus Chase series. He's just got so many books. I don't know when I'm going to get to them all. But I need to read them because I love his books. They're so funny. Like, oh my gosh, they are so super funny. And they always make me laugh and smile. And there's so much action and adventure in his books, which I love. And so I need to read more Rick Riordan. So the next book, again, another popular one that's talked a lot about on BookTube, and everyone seems to recommend this one. And I was in Barnes & Noble one day looking at this book, and someone else was in the aisle, and he was like, "That's a really good series, you should read it." So everyone loves this series. I need to get on the bandwagon, and I need to pick it up and read it. And that is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book in his trilogy, and it's a fantasy story. And again, I really don't know much else about it, except that it's a fantasy story. And everyone loves it and raves about it and recommends it, and I need to pick it up and read it. And the last book on my list that I'm going to show you guys is one that, this one's actually an adult series, and it's one that's talked about a lot, and even my clients at work have recommended it to me, so I definitely need to pick it up and read it. I actually hauled it like a couple months ago maybe. So yeah, now I just need to pick it up and read it. Don't know when I will because it's huge. It's a huge series, and the print is small and there's a lot of pages. So it is kind of intimidating, but I will get around to it eventually. And that is Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. And I don't know when I'm going to read this, because I am trying to marathon through series now rather than wait a while in between books, so then I forget a lot. So I feel like if I start this, I need a marathon through the series, at least up until the current book that's out. And I think there's like 7 or 8 books out already, and they're all freaking huge books. And again, small print, huge books. And that's gonna take me a long time to get through. I actually don't know if I can marathon through these series, because they're just, unless I just love them that much, but they're just so huge and so long, and there's so many of them. I don't know. But I do need to pick them up and read, because everyone, literally everyone I know recommends Outlander. Again, I don't know much about this other than there's time travel involved, and it takes place in Scotland, I believe. And yeah, it's pretty much all I know, but I need to get to it. So that's it for this video, you guys. Those are the popular books that I have not read yet. I know, shame on me. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books. Let me know which ones I need to read immediately, like right now. Pick it up and just go for it and read it. And yeah, I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.